The Witch is probably my favourite class to play as in Path of Exile 2, it's so much fun. So I thought I'd show you my Witch build. This is going to be early game, we are currently in Act 2. So this is your Act 1 build, we are level 18 overall, we'll go over the skill tree, the items, all that fun stuff. So if we start with our skill tree, you will see this is what we have branched out into. So we started in the quadrant here with Spell and Minions. And there's two routes you can take this to begin with. You can either go up here, and across this way, or this way. Now in my opinion, your best bet is to aim for the spiral into insanity over here. So for me, my first two levels went up to here, and then I actually filled out this section here on the right. So I took the minion life first, and then got to raw destruction, and then I took spell and minion damage, both of these, when I had a book that allowed me to take two at the same time. I won't, any spoilers, to do with a quest, but you can get an item, it will let you put 2 skill points in. So I actually saved those 2 skill points to get these later on. Once I hit this point, I turned to left to get my attribute bonus. I went for strength, just so I could put some better armor on. Went for dexterity for the same reason, just to get some better armor. And then that led me to here, where I went to intelligence. Now, there are multiple ways you can go here. You can either go through the bigger circle, and that'll eventually take you into spiral into mana, which will give you more cast speed, more chaos resistance. Or if you follow the purple, you'll get chaos damage, follow that all the way around, and then you get spiral into insanity. 29% increase to chaos damage and a 10% increase to global defenses. Now if I hit that, you'll see what we are looking at here, 105.18 damage per second with our chaos bolt. After all that was filled in, we're back to raw destruction. I went along the path here. Cast speed up to practiced signs, plus 6% cast speed. Back to cast speed to pure energy. 30% increase in maximum energy shield, and really nice way to defensively bolster your character, and a plus 10 to intelligence for those spells. And then up here, the minion life again to really protect yourself. Having the minions be tanky is the best way to survive in my opinion with the Witch. Now taking this forward, where would I go? So from here, there are a few options I would go. I would follow this path up here to get the living death, the minion life. You could if you wanted to fill out these, but I probably wouldn't. I would get the minion life and I'd go up to the attribute here. I would then follow this along to here and go to the chaos damage and lingering horror. Get that boosted chaos damage while you're here, really bump your DPS up. The other route you can go would be from up here to here and then back up to here and take some life recoup. Again, a really nice way of just bolstering yourself up between your energy shield and the damage you can deal. This would be a great option as well. After that, coming to the bottom here, minion life here as well to really continually bolster up your minions, and Gravedigger. Minions revive 15% faster, you gain 2% life when one of your minions is revived. Again, self-healing really bolsters it. So there are a few options you could take this going forward, but that's what I would do. Let's look at our skills. Okay, so we got skill and items, let's start with items instead. And now, things you really want to focus on, I've gone for intelligence, spell damage, and anything to do with like minions and that sort of thing. So you can see the wand we're using, 34% increased spell damage and plus 7 intelligence. For the ring, mana, another big thing to focus on for this build. Focus on that mana pool, more spells to cast that way. Armor, as you can see, maximum energy shield. Energy shield is a lifesaver in this game, especially for the Witch, because if your minions die, you have that backup of your energy shield. This one I also have has increased energy shield, resistance to stun, resistance to cold, and some physical forms damage if you want to use that. For a helmet, 25% increased armor and energy shield, again doubling down on the energy shield, we want that as big as possible. For an amulet, again spell damage and 1 life regeneration per second. For your other ring, plus 22 maximum mana, plus 17 maximum life, plus 7 dexterity. Now for a scepter, I personally prefer using the scepters that give you skeletal warrior minions. You can have other ones that give a bunch of other spells. For me, skeletal warriors to have an extra one of those, and chaos bolt are the 2 best abilities to have on your Witch. I've used this from the start, I've tried out a few other things, and these 2 combined just, to me, feel like the really best option and the best synergy. For a belt, again, mana recovery from flask, increase to armor, increase to life, 1 to 4 physical forms damage as well to tie nicely with the armor we have. For boots, increased armor and energy shields, and for gloves, maximum mana, gain 5 mana per enemy killed. So really focusing on energy shields, mana, your spell damage, all that stuff there. That'd be my true options. Now when it comes to spells, we have a few options. I also have equipped a staff for fire just to, mix up my damage if I need to. So when it comes to spells, my first one is obviously Chaos Bolt. Now for this, I've put a lovely rune on this. So if I go to my skill, I've pressed the wrong button, haven't I? How do I leave that? There we go. So if I go to select and manage sockets, I've put Pierce on it, meaning that projectiles will go through enemies, but they'll deal 30% less damage. Skeletal Warriors. Now for this one, I put Minion Instability. So they explode when they are reduced to low life, and they deal 15% of their maximum life as fire damage to surrounding enemies. If you're a fan of Dragon Age, it's kind of like Walking Bomb. I will put Last Gasp. So minions die 4 seconds after their life is reduced to 0. So not only do they explode, they last a little bit longer. After that I have Firebolt, again just mixing up the damage type. I've got Bone Storm. This is a great spell to have, a really nice way of just encasing yourself in damage. Pierces enemies, so if you do get overwhelmed, it's a really nice way of having a local AoE that can stop enemies breaching through and getting to you. The only downside is physical damage, it's not chaos damage, so you might need to buff up your physical damage somehow to get this to be more effective. The Skeletal Sniper, a key, because this can drop a toxic gas and it is phenomenal. You drop this down and it will poison enemies, and it's just so incredible. For that one I have a chain on this, so chain skills plus 1 time, chain skills 100% more times, support skills deal 50% less damage with hits. After that, we of course have our lovely Skeletal Warrior and Meat Shield. So minions from supported skills that deal 35% less damage, but minions from support skills have 50% more maximum life. Again, not here to do damage, they're here to tank. We will be the DPS, these guys are going to tank it. After that, the Skeletal Arsonist, really nice way of getting fire damage. You can, I mix this up with my Poisoner, so I'll do the poison damage, and then I've also got a fire one, and this is the two of them together. Key, where you have your warriors just tanking. Really nice way of just dropping more damage. There is also Raise Zombies. This is probably one of the best spells in my opinion in the game, especially early game. You can raise up to 10 zombies from dead enemies, meaning your group of creatures can survive longer and longer and longer, and it's phenomenal. Nice way of just minion building when you need to, especially when your skeletal warriors have died. You can raise these up real quick and they will just be extra meat shields. The Bone Cage, again, nice little ability. This is actually one I was talking about earlier with the circle that entraps people. I got it totally wrong, called the wrong ability. I use this a lot. Again, it is physical damage, might be hindered, but it is amazing. And for this I put Withering Touch on. So, Withered lasts for 4 seconds, deals 50% less damage, but inflicts Withered on a hit with chaos damage. After that we have Enfeeble. Casts all targets in an area for short delay, making them deal less damage. Putting this on the boss is amazing, 10% less damage usually, and it's incredible. After that we have Grim Feast. So feast on the corpses to bolster your energy shield. Grim Remnants recover 17 energy shield. These are little orbs on the battlefield. When you kill an enemy, you can just run over and pick them up. The Skeletal Frost Mage. Now unfortunately at this point in the game I don't have enough spirit to actually cast this as well to have one. I can only have my Skeletal Warriors, my Arsonist and my Archer, but this is going to be the next thing I focus on because I think having some frost damage is going to be incredible. And an extra minion is always worth it. So that is the build. I really hope you have enjoyed this. If we take this into an area, I'll show you off how the minions work and all that fun stuff. So, as you can see, we have our minions here. We've got 2 warriors, one thanks to our ability, one thanks to our scepter. And we also have, when they come, we got our arsonist and we have our archer. So let's go and find someone to deal with. Okay, as you can see here, we are in combat. We're just going to shoot some people. You can see how much chaos damage we're doing. And then we are going to raise them from the dead. I need to remember which spell it is. There you go, we are raising our army. And you can see just how many minions we now have. So if we go and find some more enemies to deal with, just here. They are very slow, but as you can see they are coming. And my warriors are doing amazing at tanking. And this is the gist of it, you can just keep spawning all of these to help you fight. And it's an amazing way to deal with mobs in the game. And again, if you need to, we can use our big Spirit Thorn thing to deal incredible damage. This move is amazing against bosses, so if I get this maxed out, you can see just there how well it's doing. And as you see, we are running low on things, so let's raise some corpses to help us out in this situation. And there you go. You can now see we have a bunch of people. And if we need to entrap some people, we can do our lovely little spirit cage here. So this is just a incredible build. And there, that little orc, that of course is our energy shield. So you see, it's a really fun build, a really nice way of having minions on the battlefield, of staying alive, being able to pump out the DPS, but also being able to constantly reanimate more meat shields for your army. So I really hope you've enjoyed this build. If you have, please drop the episode a like, it helps me amazingly. If you're new and not subscribed, I'd like to, that would also be amazing. You can come and check out my channel for more build guides. I've got Baldur's Gate, I've got Dragon Age, all that fun stuff. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.